welcome to the Artful Crew. Today we are going to create an artwork inspired by Andy Warhol, and we're going to have a try and create them in two different ways. One, just using paint and pens, and another way as an collage. So watch the video, grab your materials, and let's get creative. Okay, what materials are we going to need today? The most important thing is everyday objects, maybe something that's really popular at the moment. You also need some white paper or card, grey lead pencil, eraser, markers. You also need something to be able to colour in, maybe pencils or paint. And you also need some collage materials as well if you're going to do the second activity. Today we're going to be focusing on Andy Warhol and his art. Now, he was born in 1928. He lived in America, and his first job was as a fashion illustrator. He was most famous for, though, his pop artwork. Now, he worked in a famous studio called The Factory with other artists and musicians. Now, there's a few things that stand out with his artwork. They are brightly coloured. They are often about popular culture. And he likes to use lots of multiples in his artwork, and he uses silk screens as well to create his artwork. As we're being inspired by his multiples and screen printing, we are going to be folding our paper into fours. Think about whether you want it landscape, horizontal, and how you want to position your drawing. I've done mine diagonally. Have a look at your object and have a think what features make it really interesting and sketched out. You can be a bit rushed and messy with your sketches because it's the style that we're going for. Then copy your first square into all your other squares, and then we're ready for the next step. Step 2 is to use your black marker, preferably a waterproof one, and to trace over all of your sketches. Once again, doesn't matter if it's slightly messy, that's the style that we're going for. Have a think about where you might do some cross-hatching or shading with your marker as well. Once you're finished, don't forget to erase all your lead grey markings. The last step for this painting activity is to paint out your multiples. Try and pick either warm colours or cool colours for your painting, and try and stick with only using maybe about 4 colours, and try and put that one colour into each of the boxes of your multiples. So you can see that I've used my purple for one part of the torch, and then another part of the torch, and then used it for the background as well for a different multiple. Let's look at activity 2. This one's a collage. So once again, start by folding your paper in 4, and we're going to create a little template of our object. So I'm using a little cotton reel and a needle and sketching it out in one of the rectangles. I'm going to cut it out, and that's my template. Now, get your collage supplies. I'm using some thicker cardboard and some bright colours for the objects. I'm going to be doing some green, yellow, and grey Now have a think also about different parts of your object. I can see that there's a separate object in mine, the needle, and I'm going to cut out a separate colour for that object, and then I'm going to mix and match the colours once I stick them down. Once you've cut out all the pieces for your objects, have a play around and see which combination looks the best, and then glue your little pieces to your objects all together. Now it's time to do the background of each of your multiples. I'm using tissue paper to create a interesting effect, slightly transparent. I'm cutting out 2 of each colour. If you don't have big sheets of tissue paper, you could maybe do like a collage or scrap together for the background of your multiples. Then it's time to start gluing all of your pieces onto your paper. Start with your background and then stick on all of your objects. Lastly, once you've done all the sticking, it's time to use your marker and draw your outlines and your details. Once again, we're using that quick, sketchy look to create a really interesting effect and style. I hope you enjoyed creating your Andy Warhol inspired illustration. I can't wait to see what you did and whether you chose to do your illustration as a painting or as a collage. So don't forget to send me a copy and share so that I can comment on what you have created. See you next time. Bye.